It's a conservative cabinet. It's also a diverse cabinet, and that's what we're going to be talking about with my good friend Telly Lovelace with the RNC. We both worked, again, as I said, in Senator Talent's office, and we're going to talk about that article that I was talking about, the non-diversity in congressional offices. Telly, you with us?
Yeah. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, my friend. Hey, before we get into this, we got to get the serious stuff out of the way first, okay?
Okay.
You know what that is?
Oh,
Cowboys.
yeah. Well, Cowboys, of course.
Exactly.
Going all the way.
Which I always
Going
thought was
all the way.
which I always thought was kind of weird, and I say this to you, that you're a Washington D.C. born, raised, and bred, but you're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, I always say, pretty much I was born on the side of the family. We were all Cowboys fans. But, there's a lot of Cowboys fans here in the D.C. area. The Cowboys were the first team to integrate, in the NFL.
Right.
So there's, a long history. That's why you have a lot of fans here in the Washington, D.C. area, Cowboys fans.
But Cowboys in Washington, I mean, that's a fierce rivalry, and to be a Washingtonian and to be for the Cowboys, that's almost sacrilegious, it would seem.
Yeah, it is, but trust me, as I'm riding around D.C., especially now, you see all the Cowboys fans are out, and you're seeing less and less of the Redskins fans.
A lot of bandwagoners too. But anyway, we'll get into the. Let's get into this. You know what? I want to talk to you about that article. We're on that same Black conservative listserv, and the article came out about the lack of African American staffers, especially in the Democratic Party on Congress, where you would think, with all of their rhetoric, that they would have just over, there's 13% of the population. You would think they'd have 25 or 30% of their staff would be African American, and we don't see that.
Yep.
As I kind of alluded to before we started, I mean, you have, and I don't want to give your age away, but I mean, you've have worked on the Hill for 15, 16 years or longer. You were a communications director for Senator Talent, and you also worked for 3 congressmen and Senator Talent. Give us your thoughts on the article as a whole. Did this surprise you at all?
No, it didn't, because, the Democrats, I mean, they lack diversity, especially when it comes to their leadership. I mean, like the article says, I mean, you have, barely any Democrat, you have no Democrat chiefs of staff on the Senate side that are African American. There's a few on the House side. But the article was 100% spot on, and I was not surprised. I'm just glad that people are finally, bringing attention to this.
I tell you, we've got a good friend of ours, DJ Jordan. DJ Jordan is an African American. He is the communications director for Oklahoma Senator Langford. And when I was putting together my conference there in D.C. for MoveOnUp.org, he was very instrumental in that. He gave me a list of African American staffers. And, Democrat and Republican, it was just one big list. They were one group, right? Are they just one group, Democrat, Republican?
Well, I mean, all the African-American staffers on the Hill, I mean, we all know one another, whether it's Democrat, Republican, or what have you. Many of us, we work together because at the end of the day, we are African-Americans. Right. But I've had Democrat staffers, tell me that this has been a problem for a long time. I mean, there's always, barely been any, chiefs of staff on the Democrat side that were African American. The one chief there now is African American is Tim Scott, chief of staff Jennifer DeCastro.
Right.
But the Democrats were, as much as they talk about diversity and inclusion and so forth, they lack it very much on their side.
Exactly. And I can't think of his last name right now, but Lonnie. That was the chief lobbyist for Sprint at one time, and he was Congressman Jack Becner's chief of staff. Jack Becner, way before it was popular, had a black chief of staff. I went over, he commented on my Facebook page about that article, and he was going through the diverse, amount of people that he had on his staff. I know Senator Talent's staff. It was very diverse. I mean, it was you. There was Joy. I mean, who else was it? That was.
It was Les, Shamir Dogan, who the state rep out there in Missouri now, of course, representing Baldwin and so forth.
Right.
He's actually here in D.C. with some meetings. And there were several of them. Yourself back in the state, back there in St. Louis and so forth. I know Edie Harris was with us at one point.
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to the member, the senator, the congressman themselves to really say that they want to make an effort to diversify their staff and make sure that their staff reflects their district or their state. You have staff, African American, Hispanic, whatever it is, but the staff should reflect the state or the district that member is represented.
I remember when I was there a few years ago, I think it was Black Caucus Week, and you introduced me. I think he was the chief of staff. And the reason I remember him is because he was from the hometown that I was born in, Tyler, Texas. And I think he was the chief of staff for Congressman Lanny Davis in Chicago. Is he still with him? Was he is he one of the senior? Had to be one of the senior black staffers on the congressional side, wasn't he?
Yeah, and on the House side, they have a lot more African American chiefs of staff, Democrat chiefs of staff, and so forth. On the Republican side, I'm thinking right off the top of my head, we have at least 2 or 3 chiefs on the House side, that are Republican, either chiefs or deputy chiefs of staff.
Yeah. And like you were saying, there's more and more people are coming forward. In these 2 articles that I cited, some of these people are kind of talking like, hey, this is kind of BS. We're working hard. We're here and we're not, being represented at all. And this is not fair. We're very, very, very loyal. Let's dive into it. As I said, you work for the RNC. I kind of gave a shortened kind of version of your title because it has like 15 words in it. What is your official title again?
Official title is National Director for African American Initiatives and Urban Media.
Yeah, that's
I'm both. It's a lot because I do work with the chair, either the chairman's office, also the political department, the RNC, and the communications, which is my background.
You sound important.
It was just a lot of work. It was, a lot of work, but somebody had to do it. So.
All right. So you're on the RNC and everything, and I know you've been up in the penthouse with Donald Trump, talking about strategy and stuff. Make some news for us today. What's going on in the transition? Something we don't know.
Things are moving forward. He's staffing up, and you talk about diversity. And you're going to see that. Tim Blackwell is on the transition team, former Ohio Secretary of State. He's going to be somewhere in the administration, as well as Keiko James, and several others. So it's things are moving forward, and he's staffing up, and just moving forward to January 20th.
Tell me this: I know that Donald Trump's starting a victory tour, and last night was in Ohio.
Yep.
And I missed it. One, I didn't know I think it was on the same time with the Cowboys game. And in another sense, I was kind of like, I don't want to watch any more campaign victory rallies type of stuff. I like what he's doing. Yep. I like most of the picks that he's chosen for his cabinet and his inner circle. I like most of them, but I just wasn't interested in watching any more campaign rallies and everything. Has a schedule been released of the next cities or how many there's going to be?
The schedule has not been released yet, but I know they are going to be releasing something. And pretty much you give a heads up. We want to do a couple cities next week, and then the following week, and of course we'll be going into Christmas. And some of the story he may extend into the first year. Just I don't know yet, but all that they're working on and planning everything out now.
Well, I know, like I said, I know you have lunch and dine with Trump at the penthouse. I'd like to put in a word for St. Louis here, try to get Trump or Missouri to do a victory rally here. There were a lot of strong support here locally. Hasha McQueen. I know I'm leaving out people. I know she's been a surrogate for him, but let's put in a plug in for Missouri.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I want to make sure we get them back there to Missouri to the Show Me State.
Okay, excellent. Well, Telly, it's always good talking to you, my friend, and I thank you for taking a little time out of your schedule and giving us a little insight, especially on this article with the. With the lack of diversity in the staff, and I appreciate you giving your insight.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks for having me, and I hope to see more of these articles in the future, just calling the Democrats out on their hypocrisy on that.
They do. I think we're slowly but surely seeing an opening. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right, Telly, have a good weekend. I'll talk to you.
All right, you too, Chris. Good talking to you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.